Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my channel. Hope everyone's well today. As you can see, our cat has been walking over this pad of Meeden watercolour paper, and he has left a little bit of a imprint there, but we're going to ignore that and paint over the top of it. This is a block of watercolour paper by Meeden. Its size is 10 by 7 inches. It's hot press, that means it's relatively smooth, 100% cotton. And I thought I would use that today because a couple of people have said, why would you use hot press rather than cold press? And there's no real reason at all, actually. It's just, it does give a slightly different effect. The paint behaves slightly differently on smooth surface than it does on the rougher cold press, and definitely quite a lot different where it behaves on the rough paper, which I really don't use very often. Just going to have a quick drink of my tea here. So I thought that's what I would do. I just wanted to mention here I have got some more Craftamo brushes. This is one of the sample sets, and this is what you could call a seriously sneak peek, that is to say well in advance, just to let you know. We are intending next year, at the beginning of 2025, to offer a subscription box, so a monthly subscription, which will include each month some paints, some brushes, some paper, a free gift, and a video especially for you to follow with this subscription. So anyway, we are still at the point of deciding on things like brushes. There will be 24 brushes in the set altogether. That's a lot. This is the first 6 rounds, all designed by me. They match the set that you've probably already got, which were these ones here. So exactly the same, so they would become a beautiful set. And but anyway, don't get excited because it's a long way off yet. It's going to be probably a year before that, well, hopefully next January. So, but I just thought I would let you know what I'm painting with, just in case you wanted to ask me, what are you painting with? Because I'm trying these out because the chap that organises it all, that owns Craftamo, wants me to try these out, to make sure that they follow my requirements, and so I think that's probably what I ought to do. When you get a new brush, by the way, you'll find that it'll probably, any new brush tool will come with one of these plastic tubes over the hairs to protect them, and the hairs of the business end of the brush, so to speak, are stiff like that. It's a kind of glue, and technically what you should do is you should just put it in some water and dissolve that glue off. Some people say, oh, it'll damage it if you just do that, but I've never noticed any damage happening. There we are. Anyway, but just that's why they're stiff, because it's meant to be like that. It protects them while they're in transit when they're in the shops. So let me see. What I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to do a painting which is based on a painting that I saw on YouTube. Now, you do a lot of that, don't you? You paint a lot of things on yourself that are based on things that people do on YouTube. But I saw this lady here. Her name is Shayna Cersei. I think that's what she's called. Cersei, I hope, is how she pronounces that. She's got 30,000 subscribers, and she paints in watercolour very similarly to me. And she did this painting that I've just shown you, and it got a massive amount of views, far, 10 times as many as her normal viewership. And she must have been absolutely delighted by that. And I was looking at it and thinking, interesting. I could do something like that. So I said to her, would you mind if I copied your painting on my channel? And she said, no, go for it, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. So there. That is what I'm going to do. I didn't know that I was going to do that until a minute ago, but I am going to do that. And I'm going to start off by using a number 8 round when I've finished my tea before it gets cold. I'm not going to do it exactly the same as hers, but I'm going to use her as a kind of model, if you like. So I think actually I've turned it around to the green side. This is my, so I'm going to reposition that to the reds. This is my Kuretake set, which I have rearranged into a plastic lid to a palette. And I'm going to sit down and I'll just make sure I've turned the video on and haven't got 5 minutes through it without anything recording, but I have. I am switched on. So let's pick up some red. And I'm looking at her painting and thinking cadmium red is probably what we want to go for. So we'll do that. And then what she's got, I think I want a bigger piece of paper, actually. Okay, I'm going to go for a bigger one. You know, sometimes you want to paint small and sometimes you want to paint big. Same paper, hot press, only this isn't 10 by 7, it's 12 by 9, so we do it that way. Yeah, you can do that. Right, so start again. Red, cadmium red. And we're going to put a poppy in here. One poppy. And we're going to put another poppy in here. Poppies have 4 petals, but I don't bother too much about the accuracy of a poppy. I just kind of do a splodge, comme ça. And we'll let that dry, and then we'll come in with a little bit more colour on top. What was that? There might be a mouse. I found a dead mouse in here yesterday, or a vole. I think it was probably a vole. Right, now, secondly, next thing. We're going to pick up a little bit of green. This green is already on my palette. It's a mixture of different colours. It's just a soft green. And following Shayna's, it's not Shayna, her name is. Following Shayna's design, I'm going to put a stem here. And then she had, I don't know what kind of flower this is. It could be a delphinium or something like that. But we have sort of green things going down it. And the most important thing is the flowers. And this paper is really quite nice. It's quite smooth. And I always feel when I'm painting on it, it's like painting on silk. So this is a nice lilac-y colour, nice mauve. So we'll just put not anything specific. This is cobalt violet mixed with a bit of ultramarine light, which is basically ultramarine with white in it, as far as I can tell. So we'll just do that. And then we could probably stand to put, I'm looking for olive green. Olive green could have a little bit more green dropped in, so we'll just drop that in like this and let that play with the mauve. When you do paint with hot press paper, which you can get from Meeden, you probably will find that your style, the way that you want to handle the paints and everything will change a little bit from what you do when you're painting on cold press paper. So I'm just literally dropping in a little drop of extra mauve into these flowers and letting that do whatever it feels like doing. And then I think I might pick up a bit of black to give me some indication of the centers of these poppies, because that's more or less dry there. It's not dry there yet though, but I'm going to put some black there. I'm going to leave that one for a minute. We're not ready for that yet. And then she's got another branch of the same one, I think, actually. So we'll put that over here and do the same thing. And make the leaves a sort of bluish green. Not very real. Well, not. I don't know. Is that realistic or not? I don't know. So we'll just pop the leafy things that are at the bottoms of each of the flowers in all the way down. And then we'll come back with the actual flower colour. The nice thing about doing this kind of painting, I think might make this, should we make this a bit darker? Or maybe she's made one much more pink than the other, so perhaps I'll make this one pinker. I think one of the nice things about using someone else to be your inspiration is that you can look at what they've done and then say, oh yeah, I do or don't like that, I'll do it this way. I mean, it just gets you started, doesn't it? I have no idea what kind of flowers these are. I think I've seen something like this growing wild in our field, but I'm not trying, just simply not making any effort whatsoever to be realistic. I think I might make them a little bit bigger. Obviously the ones near the top are likely to be smaller, but as you go down, they're quite likely to be bigger. So this is Diane Antone. This is a plant invented by me. It's amazing, isn't it, nature, how so many different kinds of plant, infinite variety of designs. Okay, so we'll come in with a nice bit of dark, so that gives us a bit of shadow. And the paper, it dries fairly quickly, this hot press, so it's quite good because you're going to get some nice blends and also some slightly harder lines. And then we'll pick up a bit more bright pink and maybe just drop that in a few places like we did over here, and we hope that it's going to look scenic. So this morning I came to the studio to start my day's work, and not long after I'd got here, Tamsin came in and she said, I don't know how this happened. It's been raining all night and the window of the car has been left open all night and the seat, the driver's seat, is absolutely soaking wet. And I'm like, I've mentioned my husband before, haven't I? He'd been outside last night to move the car because normally it's parked on the street, and on Wednesday mornings at some unearthly hour, like 5 o'clock, just so that they can wake everybody up, the dustman comes. And we have to make sure our car isn't in the way. Otherwise, they would just drive into it, probably. Never tested that. So he had gone out last night quite late and moved the car and parked it on the drive and got out, locked the car, came in, not realising, and I don't know how this had happened, I'm not realizing that somehow the window had been opened. Now, whether it was an electrical fault or whether it was a mental fault on his part, I don't know. But I went out to see what had happened, and true enough, the entire inside of the car was wringing wet, soaking wet. So that was interesting. I had to dry it all and put a heater on, and at the moment we're kind of hoping that it's going to dry out, but at the moment you couldn't drive it, or you get a very wet bottom if you did. I don't know. The joys of living with a 70-year-old. Yeah, I know I'm the same age, but, well, we've had actually a very strange week of it, because Tamsin cut her hand on a knife. She had an engagement between a knife, the door jamb, a tray, and a dog, and she came off worse with a hole in her hand. And then she broke 5 drinking glasses by dropping a tray full of glasses. And then, of course, the cat had his fight. And today, and I'm quite worried about this, one of our cats has gone missing. My favourite cat, whose name is Frankie, who's a Siamese and who we rescued a couple of years ago from a fate worse than death. And he's just not turned up at all today. And Tamsin said, oh, I expect he's probably just worried because the neighbours have been starting their chainsaw and they're making a lot of noise, and perhaps he doesn't like noise, so maybe he's just hiding somewhere. But I'm actually quite concerned because he didn't come for his dinner, and that's not like him because he's a very hungry cat. Always. So anyway, here we go. We're putting the black in the middle of the poppies just to make them look like poppies. And then we're going to go for some green again. Bring the changes, have something slightly different. And we'll put a nice, very thin, I think, stem for the poppies. And I think I'm going to put a few poppy buds here. So we'll just keep them really nice and light. Beautiful, sharp point on this brush. This is a size 8 round. Okay. And then over here, I think, well, I do want some more red in here, so we'll darken up the bits that are dark. Darken up the bits that are dark. Yeah, I'd like to know where my cat has gone. And we might want to put a little bit more darkness at the bottom of these stems here. And earlier today I did some bluebells, and I think I might do them again. I did some bluebells using this blue here, and I think, I might start with the green. I'm not left-handed. This is tricky. should have had it going the other way. But anyway, that'll do. And then the bluebells. Just quickly look at my reference painting that I did earlier. That's the one, it's on a short, so that's how I did the bluebells, and I want to do something similar to that. That sketchbook, the one that I've been using for the daily challenge, is quite rough, quite completely different from this hot press, completely different, and the whole process of painting on it is totally different. I'll just put a couple more here. Okay, and then a bit more green. These bluebells tend to have a little bit of, I don't know what going on there, but I'm not worrying too much about the leaves. So we'll just take that down here like that. Let me see, should we make the poppy buds a little bit redder? Just a little bit there. Okay. Now maybe we need a few leaves. Perhaps we should continue with this, and we should perhaps not worry too much about the design of the leaves. I know that's not what a poppy leaf looks like. They're kind of a bit more sort of scribbly, aren't they? I like that. And we could have a few sort of just a general kind of meadow effect. Maybe, oh, I don't know, tricky. Let's have some sort of, I think bluebells have got long, thin leaves, haven't they? Something like that. And we could put, I think I'll use a slightly bigger brush. We could put a few sort of daisies up here. And if you use your round brush like that and then just drop in some red in the middle, you'll get a nice kind of bleed there. And we go back to the green, add in a bit more olive green to our green mix there. Maybe we put another yellow daisy here. Go and have a look at Shayna, not Shader, Shayna, at her channel if you're interested to find out more about what she does. Similar kind of thing to what we do here. Oh yeah, and I wanted to mention somebody else as well. Now, what was his name? Rusty. I'll put his details in the description below. Rusty, what was his name? Let me just quickly look him up. Just chat amongst yourselves. Rusty Nelson. F. Nelson. I think it's Professor Nelson. At Professor_Nelson is his channel address. And he's a teacher. He's been teaching art for 30 years or something. And he's just started a channel. He's come to retirement age. So he decided that he would go ahead and share what he knows online, which is really nice. And I think he's quite fun. It's nice to see a new face. And I think you'll like him. So, Rusty Nelson. Right then, there we are. I think that's probably enough. Maybe we'll have a little bit of spatter on the top here. I always think that makes the plants look a little bit more alive, don't you? Some yellow and some purple spatter. And I think I could probably risk embellishing the poppies with my pen, do their middle bits. I know it's supposed to be green in the middle. There's supposed to be a green area here, but I can never be bothered with that. I don't think it really looks very good in the painting. So anyway, so yes, it's on okay. Is it dry enough? Let's make that black nice and black. Blacker than black. Black is black. I want my baby back. You could, of course, come in with your pen and do all sorts of things. You could also improve your flowers by adding more of the same colour to them, which gives them a bit more depth if they've got a little bit more colour. And these ones here are obviously needing that. And these ones, you could probably a bit more violet, cobalt violet. I don't go for realism, it's just the overall effect that I'm looking for. So I'd like to thank Shayna for this idea, and which I've now shared with you. And go and have a look at her version, her original idea, which I don't know whether it was an original idea or whether she'd seen it somewhere else and sort of picked up on that. Well, we do a lot like this actually, so. This is one of those ones where you sort of think to yourself, how much do I do? Where do I stop? Do I put veins in all of the leaves or do I just do a few? How much do I want to do? So be careful you don't go too far and regret it, would be my advice. But obviously your style is your style and that's what you do. Anyway, so I think that's fine. And I think I'll leave it there. Let's have a look at it a little bit closer up. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and consider becoming a member of our Patreon. Yeah, so I'll let you go, and I will see you again soon. So I'll say bye-bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.